So welcome everybody to this webinar, Enhance Your Career with the Royal Aeronautical Society. So just a quick bit of information and housekeeping before we get started. So everybody will be in, all your microphones will be muted just to reduce the background noise. There will be an opportunity for questions at the end, so please do hold off for your questions at the end, but do pop them in the chat function as well. You will also have access to the handouts tab. So you'll see there's 4 handouts in there that you can access as the webinar goes on. And also this webinar is being recorded as well. So for any of you that would want to watch back at the end or share with colleagues, friends, and so on, you will be able to do so afterwards. So just to say welcome. And if I can just move on, we'll just give ourselves, all of our speakers, an introduction. So if I can just invite my colleagues Laura and Elizabeth just to say hello, and then and then we will get started. But I may as well kick off with myself, just a very brief introduction to myself. So my name is Nick Davis. I'm a member of the careers team at the Society. I'm going to be talking to you about the careers guidance service here at the Society and all the resources that we've got available, and also some upcoming events that we've got coming up as well. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can get involved with us in our team in terms of our outreach and volunteering opportunities. And then I've got a little bit of information in terms of top tips from us for sort of job hunting success. So I'll hand over. The next along on my screen is Liz.
Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth Jackson. I'm the accreditation officer in the Society, so I work in the membership team. I'm going to give you a bit of an overview of who the Society is, some of the benefits and resources you'll gain as a member, a little bit about the support available to anyone interested in gaining professional registration, and also how to either become a member or potentially upgrade your membership. Thank you.
So over to Laura.
Hi, my name is Laura Hoang. I am a program integration engineer at BAE Systems. I've got an introduction slide, so a bit more detail about me later on. But today I'll be talking about my varied careers so far, how I use my membership, use and abuse my membership at the Royal Air Society to complement my professional development. And what chartership and professional registration means to me.
Okay, thanks guys.
Laura.
Thanks, Laura.
So I guess I'll get started initially with a bit of information about membership and the benefits that you will access. If you don't know anything about us, we're actually a professional body dedicated to the entire aerospace industry. So we were founded back in 1866 with the purpose of advancing aeronautical art, science and engineering around the world. So we are a membership organisation, first and foremost. We have over 25,000 members, and they're working across different areas within the industry. So we have engineers, pilots, air traffic controllers, a big variety of different members. We're also a global organisation, and we have networks all across the globe. We are licensed by the Engineering Council as a professional engineering institution, a PEI. And that means that we can provide professional registration to engineers. We also are well known for promoting engineering standards, and this is demonstrated through our work with the Engineering Council. So in addition to registering engineers, we also accredit university courses, apprenticeship schemes and graduate schemes. The knowledge and content that we put out in industry is also a very important element of what we do, and our members contribute to our status as a learned society. And we're also a registered charity, so this means that we're not for profit, and the work that we're doing advancing in the areas of aerospace and inspiring the next generation is all part of our charitable output. So as a member of the Society, you will gain instant access to a wealth of online resources. So we have an aerospace magazine that's published each month. And as an associate member, you will gain access to that electronically. Now you can download our member app. Some of you might already be a member, so you can download that straight away and just use your Society login and start accessing that, or you can download it in preparation if you're thinking about becoming a member. And that's written by our publications department. It's got lots of different articles written by industry leading experts and keeps you up to date as well with what's going on in the Society. The publications department also produce insight blogs twice a week, so they're really interesting as well, and they're all available for you as members. Now this year, really excitingly, we started offering our Aeronautical journal free of charge for all members. So originally there was an additional cost for that. So now you can access that completely free of charge through your online account. We also produce briefing papers. So we've got different papers like things on Brexit, and that's all about produced from our Policy and Public Affairs department. We also have ebooks, so they're available for our members to download free of charge. And we have a nice national aerospace library, and that's located in Farnborough. Now, if that's not close by for you to visit, or obviously it may well be closed throughout the pandemic, they have a wealth of online resources as well. So their library catalogue is a really great place to start if you're looking for different books, different articles. So definitely check that out. Also, we produce podcasts, so there's some really interesting ones that we've made available to our members. And you may well know that we do a lot of events. So we do webinars like this, organised by a variety of different members, different specialist groups. And often they'll be recorded as well, so you can listen back to any lectures or webinars that you may have missed. There's also some really historical ones as well if you're interested in that type of thing. Later this year, we're going to be launching a mentor matching platform exclusively for members. Now that's going to be for career mentoring, so just general career mentoring. You might yourself actually want to become a mentor, and you can absolutely do that and volunteer your time for that. Or also if you're thinking about becoming professionally registered and maybe you don't know any other registered engineers that you can get in contact with and discuss this, then you'll be able to find a mentor through that platform. So it's going to be a really, really good resource for our members. I wanted to make mention of our really exciting new tool that we launched earlier this year, and that's Aeroversity. So those resources that I've just mentioned are collated on here. It's an integrated learning and professional development platform, and it's for our ever-growing collection of learning content and professional development resources. So in addition to those resources just mentioned, you'll find a variety of short CPD courses. They're produced by Microlearn, and they're going to be really good for you guys, as it will allow you to complete it. It doesn't take too long, and then you get a lovely certificate at the end. So it's really good to build up professional development and learn something new. Also on there, it holds our brand new Cpd recording tool, My Aero Professional Development Maps. And on here, you can record generally your professional development within your career, but also track your initial professional development in gaining professional registration. So on there, it has the Engineering Council framework called the UK Spec, and you can track your progress alongside those competencies. So I mentioned briefly that the Society does do lots of events. We've done loads and loads online in recent times. And I just wanted to make mention of a few of those webinars and conferences that you might be interested in attending. So as a member, conferences are heavily discounted for you. But there's also going to be lots of webinars and lectures that are, free of charge. And even if you're not a member, you might well want to check out our events calendar to see what's coming up. So on the 13th of May, we've got a webinar with a senior test pilot at Leonardo Helicopters. So that's called Sharpening the Claws of the Wildcat. And also our president is organising a conference on the 19th and 20th of May, all about space. so you might want to check that out. If you want any more information, please do visit aerosociety.com/events, or our events team can be contacted on events@aerosociety.com. So I wanted to talk a bit about the networking opportunities. So I think that's a really big part of being a member of the society. So as you're going to be likely a recent graduate or in the early stages of your career, I'd say the young person's network is definitely something you're going to want to join. So if you're already a member, you can join that just by changing your preferences within your online profile, or you can pop us an email as well and we can add you to that. They organise lots of fun activities to get with, plenty of opportunities to meet other people of similar age and with similar interests. I know that at the moment they're taking entries for their annual Aerotube competition. So you might want to check that out. It first started running last year, so that's something you can get involved with. It just requires you to create a short video of something fun related to aerospace or aviation. We also have 20 specialist groups, and that really helps you to tailor your membership into the areas that you're actually interested in. So definitely check out our website to see which different groups you have. They have committees which you might want to get more involved with, but they're also organising a lot of specialist events and producing our learning content as well. We have 67 branches worldwide, so we are a global organisation. We do international branches, as well as 37 in the UK, and that's great because it's a local community for you to get involved with and meet members in your local area. But also, as you can imagine, because face-to-face stuff has not been able to happen, they are doing lots online. And I think the really great thing about that is you might find that a branch that's nowhere near you is doing an event that really interests you. They're hosting a webinar, for example, and you can easily attend now. I know a lot of them are taking place on Zoom, things like that. So again, have a look on our events calendar. You'll see what the different branches are doing, but you can also sign up to your local branch's mailing list. I should also say that the branch events are often free of charge as well, even if you're not a member. So still check those out if you aren't currently a member and are interested in learning more. Also, we do have 4 separate divisions, so perhaps you might actually be in one of those countries, and it means you can join that division as well. So I'm going to talk a tiny bit about professional registration and the support that is available to our members or people interested in applying. So Emily, is it okay to launch a poll? I'm just interested in learning a bit more about who on this webinar is interested in professional registration, and perhaps you're working towards it at the moment. So you should see a poll coming up on your screen. Okay, great. So I'm seeing some results come through. Okay, so it's really excellent. It looks like a lot of people are interested in professional registration, but they're not sure which level they should be working towards. So that's definitely something that we can help with. So we offer 3 levels of professional registration, and that's engineering technician, incorporated engineer, and chartered engineer. And gaining professional registration is all about being able to demonstrate, firstly, your underpinning knowledge and understanding, and secondly, your competence and commitment to the industry. So it's all going to be, first off, you're going to want to probably complete your studies and training. So maybe you're on an apprenticeship scheme, maybe you're still a student. Once you've completed that, then you need to be able to demonstrate you have real life experience, hands-on experience in engineering. So you're going to want to get a job in engineering, and then I would say the best thing to do is start to work towards professional registration. Start to think about it at least from the outset, because it will really benefit you to start thinking about recording your professional development. So I would recommend the first thing to do is to download the Engineering Council's UK spec, and that's their framework for gaining professional registration, and that will give you a really good starting point to have a think about which professional registration level you might be interested in and might be able to obtain. So there is lots of support available from the registration team. We run regular free webinars that are all about supporting you and explaining the application process, and that will really help you and guide you towards what level you might be able to obtain. The next webinar that's taking place is on the 18th of May, and that's going to be include a short introduction about membership of the society, and then go into professional registration and how to apply. So it's usually an hour long. You can sign up for that under aerosociety.com/support. All details are on there. Or actually on the 26th of May, we've got a registration specific webinar. So it's going to go straight into registration and going to be really focused on developing the competencies and what we're looking for within your application. We have a member of the registration committee that's going to be in attendance there. So that's going to be helpful if you want some really specific guidance. So you can sign up again for that by following that web link. We also run one-to-one support sessions, so you can sign up for one of those. Just pop us an email and we can book that in with you, and that will let you, if you do want to have a specific chat with one of the team, we'll be more than happy to speak to you about gaining registration. So if you are listening and you might not yet be a member and you're thinking, how can I become one? Then e-associate membership might well be the one for you. So if you were previously a student or apprentice affiliate of the society, e-associate is exclusively available to those members, and it is the same equivalent of associate grade. So you're going to gain instant access to those ARAeS post-nominal letters. So that's going to provide you with instant recognition within the industry. And that's just £37 for membership active for the rest of this year. So to be eligible for that, you do need to have achieved either a level 3 qualification, an undergraduate degree, an integrated master's degree, or a postgraduate degree. So that can be applied for by downloading the application form on our website at aerosociety.com/e-associate, or it's actually in the handout section as well, so you might want to just download that now on your control panel. You just need to return that to membership@aerosociety.com with a copy of your qualification certificate. And the great thing about e-associate, it doesn't require membership committee review, so we can set that up instantly for you if you have met the eligibility requirements. Alternatively, you may well maybe have graduated a few years ago and have developed a few years with work experience within the industry. You may well actually already be eligible for a higher membership grade, and you can find out a bit more about our membership grade requirements on our website. The one thing that you will notice is on the right hand side, we have mapped the minimum membership grade requirements for each professional registration level. So if you are looking at applying for professional registration, you need to bear that in mind. It might be that you start off and apply now for e-associate, and maybe your CEng is your long-term goal. So you might well want to apply now, and then obviously as you gain further experience and you access our resources to support your development, then you upgrade your membership at that time. If you're in doubt of what membership grade to apply for, please just email your CV over to us and we'd be more than happy to provide a recommendation for you. So I just wanted to see if anyone was interested in hearing a bit more about membership or professional registration. Emily's just going to launch a poll. If you are interested, please just complete that and let us know, and we'll be in touch soon after this webinar to provide further details about gaining membership and professional registration with us. Thanks, Emily. If you close that poll now, that would be great. Thank you. So I'm just going to hand over to Nick now, who's going to talk to you a bit about careers and the support that's available from the careers team.
Thanks, Liz. So, afternoon, everybody. So I'm just going to give you a pretty brief overview in terms of the careers support that is available from the Society, and some top tips at the end as well, before we hand over to Laura. So just to outline, the Society has a careers guidance service. It was established in the late 90s, so it's been going for many years. And these are a few of the things that are available to our members and non-members as well. So we offer a free one-to-one careers consultation service. Now, hopefully a few of you on the call today, you may have already spoken to either myself or my colleague Rishi, who's sitting in the background as we speak as well. You may have already had a chat with us with one of these consultations. So these are, completely free for members and non-members. Those of you who are not a member of the Society, they are limited. But those of you who are members, you're welcome to have a chat to us as much as you like, and drop us an email and set up as many sort of one-to-one consultations as you like, to talk about various different topics. And we can cover a variety of different areas, whether it's just general careers advice and guidance about entering a career within aerospace, or whether you are perhaps a little bit more of an experienced professional who maybe is looking for a slight career change. You want some advice on your CV, job hunting, networking, assessment centres, and so on. So we can really help with a variety of different things within these initial consultations. We also have a dedicated website that is available completely free. This is supported by not only ourselves, but ADS Group and the Department for Transport here in the UK, and that is careersinAerospace.com. So I'd really encourage you to have a look on that website if you just want some general advice and guidance on your next steps within your career. There's a useful career directory on there as well. So there are a number of different companies within that directory. So there may be some companies that you have heard of or haven't heard of. We also have a brand new section on the website called Caldera Stories, which are case studies of individuals working in the industry. So you might be able to use that to perhaps contact those individuals and just see what they're up to within their career as well. So I definitely recommend you take a look on that website. We also publish a variety of different articles and blogs. We work very closely with our publications team and produce sort of careers articles and up-to-date information on what's going on in the industry, such as the job market and things like that, which is obviously at the moment is very important to us. We're keeping very up to date with what's going on around the world with the pandemic at the moment, because obviously aviation has been dramatically affected by the industry, some sectors more than others. So we're obviously keeping very close eyes on that, and we're able to provide that impartial but bang up to date advice to anybody who contacts us. We also provide a variety of different group presentations to universities and colleges. So if you are a university student at the moment and would like a group presentation, do get in touch with us, because we'd happily speak to yourself and maybe one of your tutors to set this up as well. So we can deliver very specific careers related workshops to university students as well. We also attend major events and careers and skills shows all over the UK. So just yesterday, we attended the National Career Guidance Show, which was virtual this year. It's usually obviously held in person. And we also attend all major air shows up and down the UK and other major careers and skills shows, such as World Skills Live, which is usually at the NEC in Birmingham. But unfortunately, it's again sort of cancelled this year. So we do often attend a variety of different careers related events up and down the UK. So wherever you are, you may end up seeing us with a stand, hopefully in the near future again. We also each year do provide some very limited internship opportunities. So, but I must stress that it's not available at the moment due to the current restrictions. But if you are interested, do get in touch. I say they are very limited, but we do provide them to those of you who are sort of in the early stages of your careers. We do potentially also have some further opportunities coming up, perhaps later on in the year and into next year as well. We also host an annual careers fair every November. So the image you'll see there is from our careers fair back in 2019. Obviously, at the moment, that's the thing of, we're not able to meet face to face, unfortunately, in large crowds. Last year, the event was held virtually for the first time, which was a real success. And it's looking increasingly likely this year that it will also be virtual. So, wherever you are in the world, you may not be based in the UK. You won't have to fly into London. You'll be able to access the event sort of online and wherever you are in the world. So that is going to take place in the first week of November this year. So keep an eye out on our events pages on the Royal Aeronautical Society website and also the Careers in Aerospace website. And I would also, if you are a member, just sign up to the Young Persons newsletter and also any careers correspondence as well in your preferences, in your login area. In your member area, do sign up to receive information from us, because we will be publishing information about the careers fair in due course. And as always, that will be free to attend. And I've just dropped the email address there, so just careers@aerosociety.com. If any of you have got any questions at all, do get in touch. So if we can just move on to the next slide. Thank you. So a brand new update for us, something that we're really excited about, is the launch of Career Flight Path. So this is our brand new careers management platform. We launched this in earlier this year, so all members can access this for free. And this has got thousands of e-learning courses on there. It also has some really interesting features such as AI-powered CV feedback tools, which is called CV 360. And this is essentially where you upload your CV to an automatic system, and then you will get instant and personalized feedback on your CV. There's also an interview simulator as well, so you can practice those all-important interviews. If you don't have a CV, then there's the opportunity for you to build your CV through this as well, to make sure that you're getting the most out of it. And then there's various other guides and things like that, such as there's on assessment centers. There's also some free aptitude tests, so things like numerical and verbal reasoning and things like that. So I'd really encourage you guys to access this. So you can just log in through your membership details, and then complete some of the courses, upload your CV and things like that. You can book a one-to-one appointment with us if you feel you need to as well. So we're really excited about that for this year, and there's new content coming up pretty much every week as well. It's something that we've sort of invested very heavily in, and it complements sort of our careers guidance service very, very nicely. So I'd encourage you to log into that. So just moving on. I mentioned briefly about our outreach and volunteering programs. So we do have a massive outreach program, and some of the programs I've listed here. So we have Cool Aeronautics, which is our flagship primary school outreach event. Obviously, at the moment, with what's been going on, sadly, we haven't been able to run a lot of our events. But some of the images here that you'll see were taken at our last sort of face-to-face event, which was in February 2020 at the British Airways headquarters. And usually we welcome primary school children, from all different sort of locations, the opportunity to come and get a real sort of feel for the aerospace and aviation industry. So there's lots of inspiring talks that they can hear from apprentices, graduates, those working in the industry, perhaps an engineer or a pilot as well. And these take place not only all over the UK, but back in 2019, it actually went international for the first time. So it went over to Canada for the first time, and we reached well over 2,000 children back in 2019. So, but it is a real shame that we haven't been able to run it to scale, last year and into this year. But hopefully, we'll see a return to this soon. And you have the opportunity, as members of the Royal Aero Society, to support us with programs such as this. So you can get involved with us by volunteering at these events. And again, if you are interested, you're more than welcome to drop us an email, and we can add you to our mailing lists So when any opportunities do come up for volunteering, you're more than welcome to get involved with us. But I would also encourage you to sign up to the Young Persons newsletter. And you do have to be a member of the society to volunteer with us. But we also attend major other events, such as major air shows up and down the UK, such as Farnborough, the Royal International Air Tattoo. And, that is really, really, it's not only really good fun and, you would get free entry to the air shows, but it's also a great opportunity for you to expand your network and your knowledge and skills as well by coming to all these different events. Particularly the air shows, a lot of them are very corporate now. So there will be an awful lot of employers there. So if you are perhaps a student or a recent graduate, or you're looking for your next career move, it's definitely a good opportunity for you to volunteer with our outreach team. So again, just drop us an email if you are interested. So one event I wanted to mention was an event we have on the 5th of May, so Wednesday the 5th of May. So next week, we're actually running our Careers Forum. So this is COVID Impact 1 year on. It's free to attend, so if you are interested, you can just pop onto the Aero Society events calendar or the Careers in Aerospace website, and you'll be able to register for free. We're bringing back some of our supporters that helped us last year. So during the first lockdown here in the UK, we actually put on a series of career support webinars to support those who were perhaps facing difficulty within the industry. And we're bringing back some of our speakers that supported us. But this event is being supported by the Department for Transport this year. So we'd just like to say a big thank you to them for supporting us with this. And that means we're able to make this event, a whole afternoon rather than just sort of a 1 hour webinar. And we're also using a brand new virtual event platform. So it's going to be very, very interactive, lots of features for you guys to access as well, and everything will also be available sort of after the event as well. But we're really excited to have Emma Henderson Mbe, who is going to be the keynote speaker for this event. So Emma was a captain at EasyJet, but then she set up, she's now the CEO and founder of Project Wingman, who you may have heard of. So Project Wingman is a charity that are supporting the NHS at the moment. So for any crew or airline aviation staff, they can get involved and support the NHS at the moment. So we're really really grateful for Emma to be the keynote. So there's going to be lots of insightful talks going on, and panel Q&As and networking sessions with our speakers, but also the careers team as well. So if you would like to attend, it's the 5th of May between 1 o'clock and 4:30 UK time. Thanks, Liz. Move on. Thank you. So just the final bit of information from me is I just wanted to leave you with some of our top tips for job hunting. So if any of you who perhaps are looking for jobs, or you are sort of starting to think about maybe moving on to something different, you might be employed, but you might want to move on to your next step. These are just some of our final sort of top tips, really. So the first one really is just saying, you need to try at this stage to keep on being active, but be selective at the same time. So what we're saying is, if I wouldn't be tempted to go into panic mode. You can make, you want to make each application count, essentially. So when you do go into those panic modes of applying for absolutely everything, you're not necessarily going to hit mark when it comes to engaging that employer. So you want to make sure that you are matching your skills to that particular job, and you really want to make each application count. So even if that's just tweaking your CV very, very slightly for that specific job as well. We've also been talking a lot about, the COVID pandemic and how that's affected careers, but, we're already starting to see, a light at the end of the tunnel, particularly here in the UK with successful vaccine rollout and things like that. So you guys need to be prepared for that upturn. The aviation industry is extremely resilient. It's weathered a lot of storms in the past, albeit this is far worse than anything it has faced in the past, but it's a very resilient and agile industry. So you guys need to be prepared for that upturn. So make sure you are keeping an eye in terms of vacancies that are out there. Companies, particularly in aviation, they will probably need to hire people very, very quickly when demand starts to return for travel and things like that. I would also recommend you work out any transferable skills as well to make sure that the jobs you are applying for match them. Flexibility is really key. The chances of you finding a perfect job in the perfect location right now are relatively slim. So you need to try and be as flexible as you possibly can when you are searching for that next step. Keep in touch with as many people as possible. Use LinkedIn to the best of its sort of features as well. It's got loads of interesting features as well. The more you post on LinkedIn as well, the higher up the sort of hit list you go when people and employers see your profile. So the more things you post, the more things you like, and the more things you sort of engage with on LinkedIn, the higher up you go. So the more employers and recruiters will actually see your profile. And it's a good place to sort of professionally connect with individuals who might be able to offer you some advice as well. And then finally, my last piece of advice is just to keep using any downtime you have to make yourself as employable as you possibly can. So keep upgrading your skills, keep informed by reading all sorts of publications, websites, taking part in courses, getting involved with us at the Royal Aeronautical Society by attending our events and using our online platforms and learning management systems and things like that. So I would just use any spare time you've got effectively. That's going to help you in the long term. So thank you very much. I'll hand over now to Laura, who's going to give you a really, really interesting insight. But there's just our bits of information there, bits of contact information if you want to get in touch. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Nick. I guess with what Nick and Liz have touched on, this is kind of a perfect time for me to bring all of those themes together in a case study. And you'll see the themes that Nick and Liz have talked about in my presentation. A little bit about me. Who am I? I'm Laura. I'm an aerospace design engineer. I work at BAE Systems, and I get involved in various things with the Royal Aeronautical Society. I've won 2 awards for my contribution in the aerospace industry, and outside of work, I've got a puppy called Evie, and I play roller derby. Outside of the pandemic, I also love traveling. So that's just a bit about me. I also like to take silly photographs, as you can see. My career so far. So I've been with the company for over 10 years now, and I've had 11 different roles. I actually started in the company as a summer intern between my first and second year at university. And then I came back on a year placement after my second year. And then I had 2 more summer internships before joining the graduate scheme. So with all of those different placements and internships came lots of different roles. I've had really varied roles from research and technology, the designing and development phases, testing, in-service support, and worked on 3 of the major BAE Systems platforms, so Typhoon, F-35 and Hawk, as you can see there. Hopefully you'll know your aircraft. Disclaimer, I don't really, but I know what they are because I worked on them. But I've also worked on some technology that we've put onto civilian aircraft and the applications in civilian aviation, such as sort of like the sense, detect and avoid type of technology. So I won't really go into very much detail, but there are some photos that sort of describe my career so far. There's the photo on the right hand side in the middle. That's the Jetstream flying test bed, which is now it's been discontinued, but it was basically a flying lab, and that's where we tested all the civilian tech. And it's a Jetstream. It's a normal aircraft, but what they did was inside they ripped it all out, put a lab in there, and we got to fly up as scientists or engineers and test stuff. So that was pretty cool. My passion is in human factors, and specifically in cockpit design and training systems design. So there's a bit of me in a cockpit. I've never flown, but I've been in multiple cockpits because I am 4'10", small, but quite wide and female. So there aren't many pilots that look like me, but there may be in the future. So we need to be able to design and cater for as much as we can, and that's why I end up being a test subject in most of these things. There's me looking at sort of haptic gloves and sort of looking at the different sorts of technologies that we can apply in all of our designs, looking at sort of training, for example. So what do I do with the Royal Aeronautical Society? Can I have the next slide, please, Liz? Thank you. A bit of background, I first joined the society when I left high school, so that was quite a long time ago, really, and mainly because I didn't know about engineering. I had decided at that point that I wanted to become an engineer, but I really didn't know that much about engineering or the industry, anything like that. So I had no role models, no guidance, and if I'm being really honest, I was looking for scholarships and funding opportunities. So I actually joined more than just the Aeronautical Society. I joined other professional engineering institutes and societies for the exact same reason. It was to do my research, to see what's on offer in terms of the engineering industries and that sort of thing. So, but I stuck with the society because I very quickly became drawn into the different aspects that I could get involved with. There seemed to be lots more opportunities that I could sort of volunteer for. So volunteer my time for the education outreach that Nick touched on. And then I joined the YPN, which opened up more opportunities, you know, attending air shows and festivals like Blue Dot. That's a science and music festival at Jodrell Bank Observatory. So it's kind of space themed and really, really cool. And then joined the Young Persons Committee, where I was excited to be working with people of a similar age to me, but we were still able to make an impact on the society. I was a member for a few years, and then I was elected vice chair and then chair. And I think by being involved in this way at the start sort of opened up experiences that I may not have otherwise been able to have in my day job at that stage of my career. So the committee organises like large-scale events. We talked about Aero Challenge. We have the annual Young Persons Conference. There's initiatives like AeroTube, and we don't, you know, in my day job as an engineer, I don't tend to get involved in those sorts of things. So it was a different type of skill set which I got to develop. I was given the opportunity to speak at conferences, run workshops, and not just at the Aero Society, like outside different societies as well. And so these softer skills, I think, are really essential for your professional development. And if you look at the UK spec for professional registration, there are many competencies that you actually need to tick off, which are underpinned by these soft skills. For example, there's a whole competency standard which asks you to demonstrate effective interpersonal skills, which includes leading or chairing teams or meetings, presenting and demonstrating your personal and social skills. So as a member, I've taken advantage of what the society has to offer, including all the resources such as the magazines, the webinars, the one-to-one career development sessions. One of the biggest benefits at the time and even now are the events. And of course, the pandemic has impacted this somewhat, but we still have these virtual events where you can learn more about the industry, and it provides the networking aspect as well. So attending the events in person and virtually and joining the specialist groups and getting involved that way provides access to influential industry and academic people in the areas of expertise that you might have interest in. And I've used this and leveraged this to build what I call meaningful network. So it's more than just sending out invites on LinkedIn. That's really great. You know, you connect with thousands of people that way. But if you're going to build like a meaningful network of people that you actually really do want to connect with, this is a really great way of doing it through the society. I think being involved with the society also gave me the sort of exposure that I wouldn't have otherwise had. So the prestige and the reputation of the society itself is a matter in this. And through networking and the volunteer work, people started reaching out to me, offering me other opportunities. And then last year, I decided to run for council, encouraged by the president and other key people within the society. And it was pretty tough, given that most of my professional network and engagement was with young members who don't have full voting rights. But I became elected, and being on council has been really exciting and challenging and a whole new experience, helping shape the society's strategies and future operations. So how does this all fit in and help my career? So like I mentioned previously, I opened up opportunities that I may not have been able to find in my day job. Even if they were available in my day job, being able to step out of the sort of BAE bubble and see what else is going on in the industry has been really invaluable. So what are other companies doing? What's academia doing, for example? What sort of research is out there? What's the next best thing? I don't necessarily get to see that at BAE. We do work on loads of exciting technologies, but there's stuff we can, you know, going outside. It's not just aerospace and defence. There's a whole other world within aerospace. And so I want to talk about transferable skills. In my introduction, I mentioned that I've had 11 different roles within one company, and they've all been very different. And in a month's time, I'll actually be starting my 12th role within the company. I enjoy new challenges, I embrace challenges, and I do get bored quite easily. And the perks of being in an industry like aerospace and a company like BAE Systems is that you can always find your next challenge. And the role that I'm due to start in June is a role in a field which I've been passionate about for a long time. So when I talk about human factors, but I don't have the specific qualifications or experience for. I don't have a human factors or ergonomics degree, for example. And it can be quite difficult to get into a field where, you know, you don't tick all the boxes. However, when you look at the transferable skills, so the soft skills and your behaviours and your competencies, they're the boxes I could tick. So they're the ones that I've developed through my day job and actually through the Royal Aero as well. And these transferable skills, these soft skills and behaviours are what helps me become chartered. And my chartership status is like a real tangible assessment and proof of the skills that I've been able to demonstrate and the behaviours and the competencies, which ultimately helped me get the job that I've wanted for a really long time. So for me, chartership also demonstrates a commitment to an engineering career and the industry and the willingness of individuals to develop themselves, but also give back to the industry and the engineering community. And I guess that's all I've got to say. So thank you for listening. I hope it's been useful.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you. So, right. So I think we'll take any questions that have come in now. So I've been seeing myself a few have come in. So so do stick around, and you know, if you've got any questions as we speak as well, guys, just pop them in the chat function or the questions function. So yeah, we'll take any questions. So just pop them in your questions box if you've got any as well. Thank you.
I've had a question come in for Liz. So it's about interim registration. So this person has an accredited degree and they'd like you to explain basically everything about interim registration. So what it is, what are the benefits and how can you get it?
Sure, thanks. So Professional registration, essentially, there's two parts, the academic requirement and the competence and commitment requirement. So interim registration essentially demonstrates to everyone that you have met the academic requirement, so the underpinning knowledge and understanding to meet a specific professional registration level. So the benefit of that is you can use that as post-nominal letters, and it's going to demonstrate as well that you're actively working towards professional registration. So you can apply for that on the same application form, so that if you're applying for e-associate, there's a box to tick to say you would like to apply for interim registration. We'll just conduct some checks just to make sure that your degree is accredited and fully meets the academic requirements for that professional registration level, and then you will be entered onto the Engineering Council database for interim registration. So the fee is about £10.90 within the first year, and then it's an annual fee rolling on. But yeah, it's a great way to demonstrate that you have met the underpinning knowledge and understanding and are working towards registration.
Thanks, Liz. We've just had another one come in, and I think this one is probably for Laura. So did you have any experience of stepping up from IEng to CEng, and did you feel like it was a significant or dramatic step up in the level of evidence that you have to provide? Or can you give any insight if you haven't gone from IEng to CEng?
So I didn't go from IEng to CEng, and in hindsight, I kind of wish I did. I think it probably would have made my chartership application probably easier. I think my biggest advice is to start recording and start logging as you go along. I started, and then I didn't commit to it fully, and then when it came to actually applying for chartership, I could have done it, a couple of years before, if I'd have put all my evidence together. And it took all that time to try and get that evidence together, because they're thinking back years and years and years worth of experience where you can demonstrate the competencies, trying to find as many examples as you can. And I think if I'd have gone for IEng and got into the habit of recording straight away then, and then carried on recording, I think my application for chartership would have been a lot easier. So that's my biggest advice.
Thank you. Yeah, go, Ruby.
Yeah, a question for Nick and potentially Laura as well. This question is about it's from a gentleman who's got a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and he's rounding this up with an MEng in mathematical engineering. But he's asking that for a career in aeronautical engineering, does he need to get a degree in aeronautical engineering or not necessarily? I think Nick or Laura could answer this.
Yeah, I think me and Laura are on the same page. So definitely not. I think you don't necessarily need an aeronautical engineering degree to work in aerospace, and particularly in engineering. Laura, you know many who perhaps may have studied mathematics or physics and things like that. Even perhaps degrees that even may not be engineering related, who have just transferred into engineering from perhaps a different sector. So and that goes back to that transferable skills element. There's always the opportunity to change your career within the industry. The aviation industry and aerospace industry you're not necessarily on one sort of straight path within your career. You might go off in all sorts of different directions. So and that's one beauty of it. So yeah, I don't know if Laura's got anything to add.
Yeah, 100% agree. Just to add to that, I know an excellent aeronautical acoustic engineer who has a degree in music. So not what you would call a STEM related degree, but using those transferable skills that she had and having an interest that developed into a passion for aeronautics and acoustics, she found her way in, and is a very good engineer now, and is in the process of getting chartered. So yeah, don't need an aeronautical degree to get into aerospace.
I've got a question for Liz. what does it take to be registered as a member? So that's MRAeS with a big M. And what are the applicable fees? Are they a yearly one-off?
Sure. So for the member grade, if you have a bachelor's degree or higher in an appropriate subject, then you would and you also have 4 years work experience with 2 years at appropriate level of responsibility, you would be eligible for member grade. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, then you'd be looking at 15 years appropriate work experience within the industry. So all of our subscriptions are annual, so you would pay basically prorated for the rest of that membership year, the rest of that calendar year that you're applying, and then you'll be sent a renewal notice towards the end of that year to renew for the next year. I think at the moment the subscription is roughly around £183 or so. For the rest of this year, but it really does depend when you join how much it.
Thanks, Liz. Rishi, did you have any more?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Nick, and also Laura can also chip in on this as well. But talking about, obviously soft skills are such an important part of any job nowadays. And it's not just, I think jobs don't only just focus on the academic side of things. I think soft skills are so important. I just wanted to, Nick, sort of highlight how, these soft skills play into your daily, sort of role of work for anybody in the industry. And also, I know Laura's obviously been with us for many years. She's done a lot of volunteering, and like she said, she picked up different skill sets from the society that she perhaps wouldn't have got in her job with BAE. But then I wanted to know from you, Laura, how you've utilised the soft skills that you've learned outside of BAE in your work and sort of taken that into your work in BAE, and how that's helped you maybe in certain situations at work in the workplace. So Nick, perhaps.
Yeah, so I'll kick off. I think the importance of transferable skills is more important than ever. I think over the past year, I think me and yourself, Rishi, when we've been speaking to a variety of different people who have faced considerable difficulty in the industry, whether they've sadly been made redundant or perhaps they are looking for something else because of the level of uncertainty and things like that in certain sectors. I think those individuals who are able to identify their transferable skills from all the previous projects, the previous sort of roles and experiences that they've had, is a really important exercise to do. And we would certainly advise that before you start to hunt for any jobs, you start to apply for any jobs particularly within this industry, but for all sorts of other industries, you do that sort of self-review activity where you are identifying your top key transferable skills for that role and that sector that you're applying into. Because the chances of you being able to transition into a role that perhaps is slightly different to something that perhaps you've worked in before or something you might be used to is you've got a greater chance if you are able to showcase that you are a really well-rounded individual that can come into a new role and sort of tackle everything head on, really. And this is what employers more into the future are going to be looking for. They're going to be looking for perhaps those individuals who are really well-rounded, who can slot into an organization and sort of tackle anything that's thrown at them, really. Because I think a lot of businesses and companies within the industry have had to completely restructure and completely change over the past year. And that's, having said that, the workforce has had to change and adapt as well. So if you can be successful in sort of bringing all sorts of new skills to the industry, then that's going to be successful. You're going to be really successful in sort of securing your next role.
So I've got, just to quickly round off, so it's 5 o'clock now, so I've got one more question for Liz and one for Laura. So Liz, someone's asked about student membership. So they are applying for a master's at Cranfield University, they're an international non-EU student, can they still apply for student membership?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're studying full time, then you would be eligible for our free student membership. So you just go to aerosociety.com/student and you can sign up through there. If you are a part-time student, there is a small subscription rate that is payable. I know it was £47 for the year, but off the top of my head, I'm not sure the pro rate. It's roughly 30 something, but yeah, you can apply for that at the same web address at that /student for our website.
And kind of related, and I think I can probably answer this one, but we've had another question about someone's son who is 17 finishing his A-levels. Can he join as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we usually say 16 plus, so anyone that's a student above the age of 16 can apply for membership, and also you can extend it. So for example, if you're currently doing A-levels and then you do actually go to university, you can then just contact us to extend it for the duration of your degree.
Thank you. And then one more from me, and then I'll hand over to Rishi for any closing questions. So Laura, one more for you. So you've already done so much with the society in quite a short period of time. You've reached, joining council and doing so much with us. What's next for you with the society? Are you aiming for president, or what are your goals going forward?
Yeah, I'd like to stay in council for at least another term, helping to influence and shape the future of the society. I'm also unsure how much longer I can claim to be a young person for, but I'll cling on to it as much as I can because the YPC is such a great committee to be involved with. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have. I think a lot of people ask about long-term goals and that sort of thing, and it's I guess an unpopular opinion that I don't really have like long-term goals because I never know what's in store for the future, and the way that the society and how the industry evolves so much, it's quite difficult to plan. I have ideas in my head of sort of where I want to be, but I couldn't pinpoint where I'd want to be. But president's on the cards, yeah, sure.
Thank you, Laura. Rishi, have you got any closing questions?
Just one last one. I mean, obviously, as we mentioned before, constantly throughout this year and last year, that obviously these are awkward times. So, what would just be your sort of final words of encouragement to people who are either, looking to get into this industry or are actually embarking on a career in this industry, who may be sort of having a bit of a difficult time in certain aspects? So I just wanted to just hear your final sort of words of encouragement and advice to anybody who may be in that position.
Yeah, I think the last words of advice really is just to reflect back and just think that the industry is definitely going to pick up again. I know that, but there are certain parts of the industry that haven't been affected by the pandemic as much at all. There are still companies that are heavily recruiting, lots and lots of young people. So my advice really would be to, go back and sort of be flexible in terms of perhaps what you're interested in, those sectors that aren't as dramatically affected. If you had your sights set on perhaps, becoming an engineer within the sort of commercial aerospace world, you might want to look at sort of defence and space, because this is an area of the industry that hasn't been as dramatically affected. And I would go say, you had your sights set on becoming a pilot before the pandemic started. You might want to go and explore roles within flight operations or the business aviation world, because they're sort of sectors that haven't, again, been as dramatically affected, or cargo and logistics, they're just massively expanding at the moment. So my advice really would be to carry on being flexible, speaking to as many people as possible, keep on expanding your network, get in touch with us if you want to have a chat as well, connect with as many people as you can, get as much advice as well, and keep on doing your research, keep on making yourself as employable as possible. The industry will bounce back. Those elements that of the industry that have been affected by the pandemic. They will bounce back. I'm certainly hopeful that into next year, the aviation world, so the airlines, airports, and so on, the travel industry will certainly, hopefully, start to return. I think we're all desperate for a sunny holiday, so we'll see what happens. But I'm confident it'll make a return. The underlying demand is definitely, particularly in the UK, is definitely still there. For us to go on holiday. So I think the airlines will have to recruit an awful lot of people when we are allowed to travel again. So.
Thank you very much for that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, well, thanks ever so. I guess unless Laura, you want to add anything at all to what's already been said.
I don't know if I didn't get to answer Rishi's question about how some of the things that I can from the Aero Society that I brought back into my day job, but one of the biggest ones was actually presenting. So having opportunities like this to present virtually or face to face. What I've never been really confident public speaking, and when I finished high school, I used to faint. I had severe stage fright, and now that I'm able to do things like this, is it's one of those things that the Royal Air has really helped me with, because it's provided me opportunities to have different audiences as well. So like going from like kids, students, and then audiences with like senior stakeholders, CEOs of companies, and that sort of thing. Being able to tailor the way I speak to them is a massive skill that I've developed with the society as well. So I just wanted to, I guess, say thank you for having me, and thank you for having me on this webinar as well.
Thank you, Laura. No, without support of our members, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So, thank you so much, and thank you to Liz and Em for organising it. So, thank you.
Yeah, so thanks ever so much for everyone attending. I'm sorry we went a bit over time, but I hope you found it helpful. Our contact details are just on the screen now, so if you do want to get in contact with us after about anything we've discussed, please feel free to pop us an email or give us a call. You will receive a follow-up email from us just thanking you for attending and giving you some resources. Also, this, as we discussed at the start, it has been recorded, so you will receive a copy of the video. So if you do want to watch back or share with friends and colleagues and everything, then you can do. But thanks everyone, and we'll leave it there. And thanks very much, Laura, for helping us out today and speaking to everyone on the webinar.
Thank you, Laura. Thanks everybody. Take care. Thanks.
Thanks for attending. Bye.
Bye.